Welcome back. Now it's time to take you on an exotic journey to a place where lions roam free. Unfortunately, these majestic creatures have been struck with a nasty strain of adenovirus, which is the virus that we'll be talking about. So our scene's going to be set in a dark, cavernous lion's den. That's right, adenolions for adenovirus, or adenovirus. So let's get started. First, since adenovirus is a DNA virus, we're drawing the cave with cold, dark shades of blue. However, notice the back part of the cave is red, so let me explain that. Adenovirus is named adeno because it was first isolated from the adenoids. Adenovirus is the most common cause of infection of the adenoids and tonsils. So since it's the #1 cause of tonsillitis, we thought it would be important to highlight this right off the bat. Notice how the entire cave actually looks like we're looking into an oropharynx? The reddish hues in the back represent inflammation in the back of the throat, or tonsillitis. Just to hammer this home, let's add our lions. We have them all yawning with their mouth wide open, exposing their tonsils. Okay, let's go back and cover the general characteristics you'll want to know. Adeno is a naked virus. So here's our statue of David, naked, with no sense of shame, carved into the cave wall. So now for transmission. Adenovirus is actually transmitted in a couple of ways. First, notice we're drawing some dripping stalactites. This is because adenovirus is transmitted by respiratory droplets. The other route of transmission is through the fecal-oral route. So we're going to draw in these little piles of poop everywhere, just like there were in the picornavirus videos. And again, this represents fecal-oral transmission. So who's at risk of getting this virus? It most commonly affects little children who are just grubby and drippy messes that don't wash their hands, military recruits who are packed into close quarters and barracks, and those who frequent public pools. Because, well, fecal-oral transmission is all I'm going to say. Imagine taking a big gulp of that. So let's have some little kids observing the den of lions. And that's because kids are an at-risk group. Notice they're also wearing camo, and this is to remind you of outbreaks in military barracks. And finally, this kid here is swimming in the red pool. Maybe he's drowning, not quite sure. But in any case, this is for public swimming pool outbreaks. Okay, now I feel like I have to stop and explain why the kid's swimming in a pool of blood that's dripping from David's crotch. Or else this is just a little awkward. Adenovirus causes hemorrhagic cystitis, a bladder infection that leads to gross hematuria. Although I still think it's a little awkward we have kids swimming around in bloody pee, hopefully you'll never forget it. Adenovirus causes hemorrhagic cystitis. There are 3 major disease processes caused by adenovirus that we think you should know. And you've already gotten 2 of them. That's tonsillitis and hemorrhagic cystitis. The third will be illustrated by some lions that we don't actually see, but they can see us, with their red glowing eyes in the darkness. Although they're red, the disease we're talking about is actually pink eye. Adenovirus is a common cause of viral conjunctivitis. So we've painted some pink on the eyes of these cubs rolling around in the poo piles. Maybe someone farted on their pillow. I don't know. Alright, one last thing. Remember, military recruits are at risk for getting adenovirus? And soldiers aren't at their fighting best if they have pink eye and are peeing blood. So there's a vaccine for that. It's a live vaccine, but it's only indicated for military recruits. So we've drawn this dude here in the front, wearing camo, and holding a tranquilizer gun that looks a little syringy. And this is to remind you that military recruits can get vaccinated for adenovirus. And to help you remember that it's a live attenuated vaccine, we're going to add a sign here that says Live Lions. So this should be easy for you to remember that they're live lions for live vaccine, because drawing dead lions would be kind of grim. And that's it for adenovirus.